Sorry.
All right. We're
good.
good. We're good.
So just, for both of you, what do you think were some of the key areas that made a difference in this match? Obviously, the first half wasn't ideal, and then, there were some improvements, obviously, in the start of the second half, but what could you point to?
I personally think we came out a bit flat. I think if you compare it to us against Seattle last week, we came out flying, and that little bit of extra getting our toe poked into things, it kind of just kept us on the top end of the momentum, whereas I feel like that was happening to us in the first half, and we couldn't kind of get on the front foot. And so I think it's kind of a mentality thing, but yeah, we just couldn't flip the momentum, and I think mostly because we came out a bit flat.
She said it best.
And
Next.
Defensively, and maybe Menges, you could speak to this more, but
You can go home.
Peace out.
Yeah, just your thoughts on maybe the moments that allowed those two goals.
It's so hard. I have to watch them back because I tend to forget the build-ups of them all. It just kind of, because they don't mean anything until they go in the goal, Right. So it's always helpful to watch them back. What I can remember about the first one, we were definitely a bit overloaded on the back line. Kling had gone wide. Becky had to step with somebody, and I got caught either in my zone and not stepping to Caruso, and so that one was not great.
I don't think it's just that. I think there's things like building up to that. There was sometimes we're taking too many touches. Sometimes we're doing little things where, I'm going to be honest, if we're in the back line like that, we just need to get the ball out of there.
Yeah.
I think there's times where let's get together and let's just defend from the front all the way back. And I think there's just certain times where we need to get that trigger where if they're pressing us like that, pressing, we just need to get the ball out.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think sometimes they broke us down, and instead of trying to get numbers behind the ball, we just kind of were being pulled out every which way. And so, yeah, like we've said, trying to kind of reorganize when we get broken down was a big one.
For sure.
Yeah.
Morgan, obviously, there were frustrating moments for players on the attack and just in particularly physical situations where, maybe calls didn't go the team's way. I'm just wondering, how you think the game was managed from that perspective.
Don't get fined.
And don't get fined.
Okay. All I'm going to say is I'm pretty pissed off.
Nice.
Good. As Marshall Lynch would say.
Yeah.
I'm here so I don't get fined.
So this team has responded really well to adversity and just after losses really well. What would you two say is the biggest reason why?
Because we're mad. We're angry.
Mostly angry.
I think, personally, we're pissed, and something about our team culture with this group is we just get back together and we're like, okay. And sometimes it's on us where we actually are the ones like, we need to be better in this, this, and this. We don't let, when the coaches come to us, they'll say certain things, but then we'll take it also into our own hands and be like, these are the things we need to fix. Let's work on it this week in practice when we have extras or something like that. And I think that's something special about this group, I would say.
Yeah. I think we also have an expectation of ourselves is to win. And so when we're not a losing team, and so we tend to take it quite hard. Some would call us dramatic. But it does help us, I think, kind of bounce back in a positive way. Because we know we need now to learn from this, or there's no time to let kind of fate take its course. It's all on us.
Yeah, and then Menges, you got to play with both your center back teammates today.
Yeah.
What was that experience like, just to play with both in the same game?
Great. Yeah. Yeah, it's great to have Becky back. I think she's doing great. She's building more and more minutes, and that's awesome. And then obviously I've played so many minutes with Kelly, and it's like riding a bike. And so, we're all comfortable. I mean, pretty much anybody on the back line you can throw in there, and it'd be seamless.
Emily, a lot of playoff runs, a lot of big games for you. What's your mentality going down the stretch to try and help this team chase both a shield and hopefully another trophy?
I think kind of like what I just said, there is an expectation to win everything. From us too, it's not just from the club. It's from like every individual player. We kind of have that mindset always. And no team in the NWSL history has ever won the Shield and, right? Is that real? Yeah, ever won the Shield and the championship, and that has been a goal of ours for a long time. And so, yeah, I mean, just kind of making sure this doesn't break up the team in the last few games, like 2 more games left and then playoffs, and that's not that many games. This is kind of like the final push of the season where we all just have to come together and not start getting frustrated with ourselves.
Morgan, knee-jerk reaction. I know there's a lot of tape to look at and everything, but what's your personal, for you, one thing to build on going into the next week?
Score.
Great. I'll let you take it into your own hands.
Thanks.
Like she's going.
Obviously, San Diego's a pretty direct team, and this game was fairly aggressive. How did you guys kind of address that? Because obviously at the half you did a bit better. No goals, so that's always a bonus. So how do you kind of address the physicality and the directness of San Diego's team?
I think kind of like what Meng was saying earlier is our mentality. First half, we started off slow, we were flat, and I think we all just said, can't happen again, and came out on a little bit of fire under our butts.
Yeah.
And then Morgan, for you, did you and Bella get to talk to each other after that Washington State football game last week?
No, but there were some things said today from College Game Day that I'm a little upset about. So, go Beavs and go Cougs, Pack 2, woo!
Nice.
Okay, we will wrap
Meeting
it there.
adjourned.
Thanks, guys.
Meeting adjourned.